Okay, here's another quick show reel of some of the other types of animations that I've done over the last several years, just so you have an idea, if you're a new Blender user, what Blender's capable of. Let's see, I'll just run these a few times. I'll try and run them full screen a couple times each. This is a cycles rendering of glass kind of plastic shards. Alright. Cycles does a really nice job of rendering. I mean, really nice. This doesn't even give it enough justice there. This is old Blender, this is old LSL, old mapping, but I could have gotten rid of those intersection points, but it works pretty good. It just rolls up onto that thing. Let's see. Oh yeah, this is just a kind of an interesting thing. There's a better way to do this, but what it is the particles have a certain amount of mass and they're lending energy to this wheel, which is tied to this gear, which turns to this gear here, and it turns this around. And this is a really crude way to set it up, but it works, and it can be much more efficient than this. But this is when the integrated physics first came out for Blender 2.66. It's not the same as the physics in the game engine. Alright, let's see. And this is a rocket, one of the rockets. This was taking advantage of some of the smoke and the fire that's in Blender, and these are just particles, so they're kind of using separate things in here. Yeah, this is smoke, does a great job. And I'm not a finished animator by any means. I don't do this type of animation work for projects. I just do it to kind of test the system, and because I'm a programmer kind of guy, and I'm kind of better positioned to kind of help artists and animators give you an idea how to go about doing your work, because you guys are just generally much better artists than I am. This is Blender, believe it or not, Blender 2.37. All this is just particles in here, nothing more. There's no texture maps, no image maps or anything. This straight particles. And this I was doing these, a lot of this cloud type effect is just a lot of good lighting, and this is old Blender stuff, long time ago. High density meshes and a lot of good lighting to bring this to life. This was right after I'd painted a tornado hitting a church steeple once. I was selling some paintings on eBay, and there was someone in, I think it was Ohio, who bought my 20 by 24 painting of the church taking out the steeple. Just because if you live in the Midwest, you know how it is. This is old Blender stuff. This is using power lines were based on soft bodies. Even this old low resolution, this is a lot of particles as well, you'll see. And a lot of soft body effects on the materials on the roof. And Blender is much more capable of these days. This is a long time ago. Just a different version. It was, for me, it's mostly about colors. You have the purples in here and the greens. You know, I have a pretty good sense of color. I've always had that sense, and I was really wanting to bring these things to life. And I've been around tornadoes that act like this, just mean. I mean scary mean. All right, I've been a little too close. Still a lot of particles, way long time ago in Blender. Much more capable these days. In fact, I'll probably do reworks of a lot of this. Well, guys, a lot of you have seen a lot of that work that I've done in the tornado simulator. I'll probably crowdfund that quite soon. But I'll be putting the game/simulator out on the Unity platform instead. This was interesting. Text, smoke, fire. I mean, just yeah, very fun stuff. Let's see, we got a few more to go. Oh, this is nice. This is using fluid particles. Not the fluid simulator, but the fluid setting within particles to give it this nice way that fluid spreads out. This is kind of cartoon style because I wrote a lot of kids' math books that were never successful, but a lot of these were designs for those books. If you go to my sci-fi animator.com website, you can still read the first story, Which Hex Do. That's right on the front page. The whole story is right there. You can read it, and then it'll give you an idea. Oh, in fact, I have the kettle for that story coming up. But I really like this style, not excessively. I don't like realism so much. This would be also the use of fluid particles. Fire effects using the smoke simulator. Fluid effects. And this was not even cycles rendered. This is, I think, just regular Blender rendered. And it was still doing a pretty good job back then. I'll have to re-render this one. Here's the kettle from Which Hex Do. I have other versions of this as well, but I kind of like the magical fire effect that it gave. Teaches you hexadecimal numbers. These are just texture maps onto the log to kind of give it that charcoal effect. Oh, of course, we have the dam. Can't forget the meteorite dam. I'll probably re-render this. And maybe I'll just resurrect this whole file and redo it in the modern version of Blender. But even still, for me, this level of rendering is just fine. I don't really care about realism. I like this kind of cartoonish style. The boat, tuna boat. It's more than a tuna boat in the. For those of you who've seen the videos that I've been doing on the with the NoodleSpeak tutorials for teaching the NoodleSpeak language, this tuna boat has guns on the back of it. And that whole city is going to be a dangerous little city. And then here's kind of an earthquake and tsunami effect. This combines combination of invisible particle systems and fluid simulator. A whole bunch of stuff goes on at the same time to bring all this kind of stuff to life. Okay, well, that kind of gives you an idea what Blender's capable of doing, and I have lots and lots of tutorials that teaches a lot of details about a lot of this kind of stuff. And so, in fact, the way I learned a lot of it was by doing the tutorials. So if you just follow my tutorials, you will be quite capable in Blender, I assure you. All right, that's it for now. I'll see you in the next video.